Hey guys, this is Hee-Haw with Dark Moon Cards and Games. Today you're going to look at a Ryperior V based deck, and you can see by the title it is Ryperior V with Fire. Have not found a way to make this guy function on his own, so this is a little bit more of a fire box deck, but really does kind of focus more on the Ryperior. Ryperior, 230 HP. First attack Drill Run for a fighting and 2 colorless, does 80 damage, but you get to discard an energy from your opponent's active. There's no coin flip or anything, it's an automatic discard. That's great. Then the Heavy Rock Artillery does 210 damage for 1 more colorless energy. Handicapped with the condition that he cannot use Heavy Rock Artillery on the next turn, which stinks, because that really hurts this deck. I had a version of this built prior to the rotation with Dancy Prism Star that really doesn't seem like 20 damage should make that big of a difference, but it really does in this deck. So many of the Pokemon in the format at the moment have to be 2-hitted to be taken out. That 80 plus 210 only gets you to 290. That keeps you out of range of a lot of these really big bulky guys, even some of the tag team guys when they had a big charm on, things like that. Gets you out of their range as well. Other guys in here, Volcanion. Got 3 of those. I've changed this number back and forth several times. Really, if you don't start with Volcanion is kind of a waste of space. I think that's why I cut it back down to 3. With Volcanion, if you go second, you can get off a fire starter, attach 3 fires to him on your next turn, attach a fighting, and then you are in business with Ryperior. Onto the box portion of the deck, the 2-in-1 Heatran GX. My previous version of this actually was Blacephalon GX, because then you could just burn them from anywhere, and you could power him up in 1 turn. You can power up Heatran in 1 turn, and you're basically dealing with the same numbers. You're doing multiples of 50 damage. So when playing this, you definitely have to save Heatran for the right moment. And of course, if you start with him, that's kind of shot from the beginning. And as far as our other fire attackers, we have Ninetales V, 200 HP, has that 9-tailed shapeshifter, and that's the main reason for him to be here. I like that for multiple reasons. I like it against Zacian V, where you can just copy Zacian V's attack. Anybody that has a really big hitting attack, to copy that. And if it comes down to it, you can use Flamethrower, but again, at 180, you're really better off focusing on the Ryperior. But it's just a nice option, I guess, especially if you do come up against something grass, which there's not a lot of at the moment, thankfully, because that's what Ryperior is weak to. You can shift gears here and kind of let Ninetales and Heatran carry you through the game. Trying to maximize the strength of Ryperior's Drill Run attack, where you discard an energy. We've tried to support that with items and supporters, or I guess a supporter. Of course, they have 4 Crushing Hammer. If you have better luck with that than me, then you might want to look at this deck. I don't get a lot of gains out of Crushing Hammer. And then we threw in 1 Team Yell Grunt, which just makes them take an energy that they've already attached off of one of their Pokemon and put it back into a hand. So if you can get them to a point where they're not attacking yet, and you're attacking with Drill Run and play Team Yell Grunt, you can set them back to where they're just going to sit there and take attacks from you, even if you're only doing 80 at a time. That's really where a deck like this is strong. It's unfortunately not super consistent sometimes on that front. And honestly, I've played this deck a lot just because I do love the characters here, and consistency is the issue. Again, the previous deck that I had with this, also I said it had Dancy Prism Star, it had Blacephalon, but it also featured Jirachi and a skateboard. Jirachi and a skateboard made everything in this work really well. Trying to figure out how to make some of these decks post-rotation work without Jirachi and a skateboard is a little bit more challenging. This is, again, not really one that I don't think you have room for scoop-up nets and Jirachi in. It just takes up too much space to not really accomplish much. As I've said before, I've been trying to replace Jirachi with Pokegear. Only had room for 2 in this one. Down the rest of the line, you got energy retrievals just so you can get some fire energies, or your fighting's back. You only do have 5 fighting energy in here. 1 Pal Pad for the same reason, just to try to keep getting welders back into circulation, so you can use those to power somebody back up. 4 Quick Ball, 1 Reset Stamp, 4 Switch. Radiant Forest, I've upped that count to 3. I think my original build had 2. Would love for that to be Giant Hearth, so you can always get those 2 fire energies to use with Welder. But it proves very useful at times to get that fighting energy out. You just need 1 for Ryperior, but Stadium is a very consistent way to get it. And again, from the other builds I've had, I up the support account pretty much on everything else. There's 3 bosses orders, 2 Marnie, 4 research, 4 Welder. And then, of course, the Cape of Toughness. Does not work on Heatran, unfortunately, but for Ryperior. Drops his HP up to 280 HP. Does not get him out of range of everything, but it gets it up out of range of the standard Zacian decks. Cinescorch has to take several turns to build up before they can hit that amount. It seems to be kind of 50-50 back with Eternatus. You were hitting them for weakness, but they're able to snipe you with the Zigzagoons, and more often than not just take you out in one shot. So that becomes a challenging match. But again, with heavy rock artillery, you can take them out in one shot as well. So it's a pretty interesting game. And of course, wrapping up there, just 5 fighting energies, 8 fire energies. Not much else to say on this guy. We'll play a game or 2 with him and just give you a look at how it plays. Looks like we're probably going to be matching up against a Cinescorch deck. We will definitely take the mulligan, see if that helps anything. Doesn't help a lot. Or Torkoal, it looks like instead. Let's go, let's drop that gear. Not much we can really do on this first turn. Don't have a switch. Really don't want to toss that hand. So let's go to Ryperior. And let's see. I was thinking I might just attach there, but I could go ahead and get fighting. I think that's the way we're going to go. We'll toss this research, so we're going to plan a Welder on our next turn if we hold this hand. So we'll see if that sets us up for a decent turn 2 or not. Really, the ideal start on this thing is to get a fighting, to go second, get a fighting, and have a Welder. If you can get that going on your first turn and start hitting with Drill Run while knocking energy off of them, can turn out pretty good. But let's see, we were going to get hit for 90. I guess it'd be 180 if they hit the fire on that top deck discard. So let's go here. Switch would be nice. No switch. Let's go there. See if we can knock that, what's that thing called? That heat energy off there, take his HP back down. Now we're just looking for the switch. There's a Cape of Toughness. A switch. Turn 2 knockout off Ryperior. Good start anyway. He's held back by not being able to attack with that big move on the second or on the next turn, but we can still Drill Run, try to control the energy. We got another hammer in hand, so looks like we may. Don't know if we'll go after something with bosses here or not. Also got the option of just switching into Heatran, moving all that fire energy there, and then using that GX move. That's why he's there. So let's get a fire down here just to keep one kind of safe. Let's bosses this guy back up. Can't get it that way, but we will knock one off this way. So energy control is the name of this deck. Definitely, it's a little slow starting, a little quirky of a deck to start with as well. Get some pretty bad starts with this one, unfortunately. But again, with the loss of Jirachi, trying to see which way we want to go about this. We can try to weld. I guess we could end this game if we had a bosses, but I'm not going to get there. So I think let's toss the Marnie and get us another fire. Go ahead and welder these two to Heatran. Kind of looking for that switch, because then I could just take out the Volcanion with the Heatran and then just kill that Torkoal later. Let's quick ball down. Gonna get us another Ryperior in play. We have two welders down, two either in the deck or the prize cards. We'll look next time we have a chance. I think the thing to do here is go ahead and take this knockout, and then we can try to switch to Heatran on our next turn. A little bit excessive on the Volcanion, but we don't want to just hit for 80 and don't accomplish anything there. So we'll take a prize. So we can try to dig for the switch. I got more than enough energy to come up with Heatran and blow this guy up. There was the switch, and that was the next play, so that would have been game pretty much anyway. So there's one win with Ryperior. We'll see if we can find another game with him as well, and see how it sets up again. Not getting a lot of coin flips going our way. He's playing online today, but wish there was an indicator on this game that actually showed if you were going first or second. I'm playing Mad Party. That's a one I have not yet seen today. Going first, kind of hamstringed on supporters. Not much else I can do. Can't fire starters, so that's about all we got on that one. Really, Volcanion could be pretty useful in this one. I don't think with the HP of these guys that I have to do anything other than charge that first attack on Ryperior Drill Run. I don't know if anybody gets beyond 80 HP in this or not. Haven't kept up with the. I've seen the addition of Seal to the to this deck. We'll look at that, or Dugong. I guess it's just doing some snipe damage. It looks like that's all that really does. So we get off of gear. Team Yell doesn't really do anything for us there. Kind of just want a flare starter to this guy, but I don't think he'll. I don't think it looks like he'll probably live through the next turn. We'll see. Get a closer look at Dugong for a minute. 60 damage to 2 Pokemon, so I guess just trying to set up knockouts for the other Mad Party attackers. Multiple ways to approach this. One is just try to go with your biggest guy and just try to drive as deep as you can. The other one, I guess, again, looking at Volcanion, is just maybe try to go single prize for single prize attacker. One thing I don't like about the trading card game online is like trying to look at their discard pile in decks like this, because so many things are popping up you can never really get a good look at it. I wish there was maybe a little counter that showed the Pokemon off to the side or something, so you could just kind of see where they are on that. Mad Party does 20 for each one, so I guess we'll just do reverse math here. So they've got 7 in there at the moment. Couldn't play the retrieval, just get our fire back. Thankfully, don't think they have any grass attackers either. So that's one of the unfortunate parts about this one, is I don't think energy denial really hurts this deck, because they basically just attach these twin energies and then attack on that turn. So takes them 2 or 3 turns to really get rolling to where they're dishing out mad, no pun intended, I guess, mad amounts of damage. So they have to get to 280 to take out a Ryperior. In general, what I say on decks like this is 2 prizers like this, if you can take out 3 guys with it, I think you win before you lose your main guy. 2 for 1, it kind of goes back and forth really to who attacks first. They did get the first knockout, and obviously we'll be able to take these single prize knockouts later. Not crazy about that either. It looks like I've got a research. This is my only choice to get a little deeper into the deck here. They're up to 200, so they've got 10 in there. But in the process of doing that, I think I'm going to lose my second energy retrieval, which is not good. This may become a fire deck just out of necessity if I have to throw these 2 fighting away. Let's add back in just a Marnie, since we're going to throw it away anyway. This would be a nice time to make that switch to E-Train. So they're doing 200, so they actually would take it out still. Let's go ahead and go to Dene down. I don't think... I'll put down the extra Volcanion. So I think chances of staying this one may just come down to actually fighting with Volcanion at this point. Which we can set that up on the next turn. We have Welder, 2 fires, and that we can get the 110. And what? He stayed 30? Wow, that's a stupid mistake. That's a game possible. Don't think in that one with the which should have been a knockout. Me just not really paying attention to and remembering that they changed resistance to 30 now instead of 20. Not taking that knockout and kind of staying in the prize exchange there is probably going to be a little bit too costly in this one. Not upset about that though, because they gave me somebody I can knock out for 50 damage. So I can live with that. I'm sure they're beyond the one-shot range on just about everything I have at this point. 240. So not there yet. I'm going to give them, basically make them 260 after this turn. Really like the Marnie there. I think we're going to have to Marnie, so let's get a fighting out. Could still basically do this. I guess we take a knockout here, get us to 3. Then we have to take a knockout and then a Dedenne to try to win the game. Probably a pretty tall order to stay on top of. Got plenty of opportunities to control energy here, but again, I don't think it really matters because they just always have it in their hand. I guess maybe if they miss an energy thanks to that Marnie might be the most hopeful thing that we have going. Drop that little guy down and I could take him with high heat blast again. That's probably game, but let's see. We had Welder. We'll toss that guy. Guess we'll try to take our 2 prizer here. Don't see any other real way to do this. Grab our fire and pray for a top-decked Welder, maybe. Yeah, Rangaroo alone is not really enough to get you out of those kind of stalled turns. There's Welder. Got a good luck wish there, or a good game wish, but I guess they're going to knock me out here. 1 prize away. You can see the mistake, how important it is to pay attention to resistance. Let me see. No fire left. Not much of anything left there. I don't get them with that. I guess I could maybe switch. Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. switch there. Just get the other switch. Definitely not a conventional win, but got a little lucky there. You gotta pay attention when you play these games, unfortunately. So let's return back to the list just for a minute and a few final thoughts on it. Really don't know how to rate this guy in terms of the rest of the format. When you start with a Ryperior, it can get him going quickly and control the energy on the board. This deck feels like it can beat anything. But with some of the games I played today, a few that weren't taped here as well, it came out of the blocks and fell on its big pointy face and stayed there. I don't know if there's maybe another combination of energy or something else. This was a lot like that Lucario Melmetal deck that I had that worked off of Welder, where when it worked, it was amazing, but sometimes that combination of things that you needed in hand to make it work maybe is just a little bit too much for this to be a super consistent deck. I do love Ryperior. I will play anything with guys like him and any of the other fighting guys in it just to try to make them work. This is the best attempt I can come up with the cards in the format at the moment. So give it a try. See how it plays for you. Maybe you can find a magical remedy that I'm not seeing in this one to give it that extra little boost. If you're a fan of fighting decks the way that I am, then hopefully this will at least get your attention and you can give it a whirl there as well. Hope you enjoyed a look at it. This has been Hee-Haw with Dark Moon Cards and Games. Be not afraid. Later.